Now, verse 14. I am under obligation both to Greeks and to the uncultured, both to the wise and to the foolish. This verse really reiterates the point that Paul makes at the end of verse 13, which is that his priorities are to the Gentiles in the world. There are other people out there who need the gospel who are not in Rome. And we have to remember that Paul is not saying that he doesn't care about the Roman Christians. In fact, he's saying the opposite. He's saying that he cares and he desires to be there and has even tried to come there, but he hasn't been able to make it because of other obligations. And those obligations have to do with preaching the gospel, the same thing that he wants to do in Rome. Now, since we're studying the text, the obvious question to ask then is, why in his introduction does Paul feel the need to not only say these things, but stress them in the way that he does? This is what he is quite literally leading with. This is all the setting of the stage for the rest of the book. And my point here is that Paul's stressing of this point tells us something about the situation in Rome that leads him to say these things. And if Paul feels the need to say these things, then it's not hard to start to see the situation in the church that he's addressing. In the Roman church, it seems that there is this idea floating around that Paul is deliberately avoiding them. He has avoided preaching the gospel to the Romans for some reason. And the reason that they think he's avoiding them, it's going to become clear very soon as we keep reading. In fact, Paul is eventually going to name it specifically, and we'll talk more about that as we come to it. But the point here, Paul wants to come to Rome to preach the gospel, but his obligations to preach the gospel not only to Rome, but also to all the Gentiles, has played a role in preventing him from making it there. And that's what he says he wants them to recognize at this point.